Welcome to the channel, everybody. Today we're going deep down the rabbit hole. We're talking about organized crime, the real deal, not the Hollywood stuff. These are the mafias, the syndicates, the groups that operate in the shadows, pulling strings you wouldn't believe. We're going around the world with this one, from the mountains of Sicily to the streets of Tokyo. We're about to expose the top 10 most notorious mafias in history. You're going to learn about their origins, their operations, the crazy characters that ran them. You're not going to want to miss this. All right, let's kick things off in Sicily, the birthplace of the mafia. The Sicilian mafia, also known as Cosa Nostra, means our thing. These guys are the OGs, the blueprint for organized crime. They emerged in the 19th century during intense political turmoil. The mafia stepped in, offering protection and settling disputes. They controlled the citrus fruit trade, taxing lemons and oranges. They operated on a strict code of silence, omerta. They even infiltrated the government, pulling strings from the shadows. Now we travel east, to the land of the rising sun, where we encounter the Yakuza. These guys are different. They're deeply ingrained in Japanese society. They even have their own offices, their own magazines. But don't let that fool you. They originated from masterless samurai, the Ronin. Their tattoos tell stories of their lives, their loyalties. They're involved in everything from construction to finance. The Yakuza, a fascinating and terrifying example of organized crime. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're heading to Russia, home of the Russian Mafia, also known as the Bratva. This is a whole other level of intense. These guys emerged from the chaos of the Soviet Union's collapse, and they seized control of the newly capitalist economy with a vengeance. We're talking about former KGB agents, hardened criminals, all vying for power. They're involved in everything from oil and gas to arms trafficking to cybercrime. You name it, they're into it. They're known for their brutality, their ruthlessness, and their global reach. They operate with a level of secrecy and violence that's almost unimaginable. They're also deeply connected to the Russian government, which makes them even more powerful and dangerous. We're talking about assassinations, kidnappings, extortion, you name it, they've done it. The Russian Mafia is a force to be reckoned with. Get ready to dive into the world of the triads. These guys are steeped in history, with roots in ancient Chinese secret societies. They're known for their elaborate rituals, their complex hierarchy, and their global reach. They originated centuries ago as resistance groups fighting against oppressive rulers. Over time, they evolved into powerful criminal organizations involved in everything from drug trafficking to extortion to counterfeiting. They're highly organized with a strict code of conduct and a complex system of ranks and rituals. They're involved in everything from human trafficking to gambling to intellectual property theft. The triads are a fascinating blend of ancient tradition and modern criminality. They're a reminder that organized crime is constantly evolving, adapting to the changing world. Let's talk about the Mexican cartels. This is a whole other level of chaos and violence. These guys control vast drug empires, fueling the insatiable appetite for narcotics in the United States and beyond. They emerged from the ashes of the Colombian drug trade, seizing control of smuggling routes and building vast criminal enterprises. They're known for their brutality, their corruption, and their seemingly endless resources. We're talking about full-blown wars with the Mexican government. These guys have military-grade weapons, they're heavily armed, and they don't hesitate to use violence to protect their turf. The Mexican cartels are a tragic example of how organized crime can destabilize a nation. They're a reminder of the human cost of the drug trade and the challenges of combating this complex and deeply rooted problem. Now we're heading to Colombia, the land of coffee, beautiful landscapes, and the infamous Colombian cartels. These guys, they wrote the book on cocaine trafficking. They rose to prominence in the 1970s and 80s during the height of the cocaine boom. They were led by charismatic and ruthless figures like Pablo Escobar, a name that still sends chills down your spine. We're talking about a time when cocaine was flowing like water. These guys were making more money than they knew what to do with. They were buying private jets, islands, you name it. But it came at a cost. They waged war on the Colombian government on each other. The Colombian cartels, they're a cautionary tale of the seductive power of wealth, the corrosive effects of the drug trade, and the enduring legacy of violence. Get ready to meet the 'Ndrangheta, a secretive and powerful mafia that operates out of the Calabria region of Italy. These guys are often overlooked, overshadowed by the Sicilian mafia, but trust me, they're a force to be reckoned with. They're considered to be one of the richest and most powerful criminal organizations in the world, with a global reach that extends far beyond their Calabrian roots. They're involved in everything from drug trafficking to arms dealing to money laundering. They're known for their strict code of silence, their family-based structure, and their ruthless efficiency. They operate with a level of sophistication that rivals any multinational corporation. They're deeply embedded in the local community, using their power and influence to control businesses, politicians, even the police. The 'Ndrangheta are a reminder that organized crime is constantly evolving, adapting to new opportunities and challenges. Now we're going to Naples, Italy, the home turf of the Camorra. This is a mafia that's been around for centuries. They're deeply entrenched in Neapolitan society, involved in everything from garbage disposal to high fashion. They're known for their entrepreneurial spirit, their willingness to diversify their criminal portfolio, and their brutal methods of enforcing their will. They're not afraid to use violence, but they're also masters of corruption, infiltrating every level of government and business. They're like a many-headed hydra. You cut off one head, two more grow back. They're involved in drug trafficking, counterfeiting, extortion, you name it. The Camorra is a reminder that organized crime is often deeply intertwined with legitimate businesses and institutions. Hold on tight because we're diving into the world of the Albanian Mafia, one of the most ruthless and rapidly growing criminal organizations in the world. These guys are known for their brutality, their efficiency, and their global reach. They emerged from the chaos of the Albanian Civil War in the 1990s, seizing control of smuggling routes and establishing themselves as major players in the international drug trade. They're involved in everything from heroin trafficking to human trafficking to arms dealing. They're fiercely loyal, highly organized, and they operate with a level of violence that's truly shocking. They've established a strong presence in Europe, particularly in the UK, where they control a significant portion of the cocaine market. The Albanian Mafia is a reminder that organized crime is a globalized phenomenon, with networks that span continents and operate across borders. They're a growing threat, and their rise to power is a cause for serious concern. Get ready to meet the Serbian Mafia, a group forged in the crucible of the Yugoslav wars. These guys are tough, hardened by conflict, and driven by a thirst for power and profit. They emerged from the ashes of Yugoslavia, capitalizing on the chaos and instability to build criminal empires involved in everything from cigarette smuggling to drug trafficking to arms dealing. They're known for their brutality, their connections to corrupt officials, and their ability to operate across borders. They're like wolves, operating in packs, fiercely loyal to their own and ruthless to their enemies. They're not afraid to use violence to protect their interests, and they have a reputation for being particularly skilled in assassination and intimidation. The Serbian Mafia is a reminder that organized crime often thrives in environments where law enforcement is weak or corrupt. They're a product of conflict and instability, and they represent a persistent threat to peace and security. That's it, folks, our whirlwind tour of the world's most notorious mafias. We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly side of organized crime, from the streets of Sicily to the mountains of Colombia. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the underworld, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing content, and let me know in the comments what you thought. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe out there.